Aloha, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KSL Sports Rewind and our coverage of Alta Hawks football. And we welcome you to opening night football here in Utah. Tonight, the Alta Hawks begin a new era as they take on the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. With my broadcast partner, Josh Dodge, Alexander Timolev joining you from the top of the press box here at the Soaring Eagle Stadium on Juan Colosimo Field. Josh, I turn to you. The first thing I say is, welcome back for football. It is so good to be back.
It is good to be back, and I'm so excited for this game. We're under the sweeping vista of the Wasatch in front of us. We got an eagle's eye view for this game, and we're so ready to kick off Juan Diego and Alta High School tonight.
The kickoff of our 19th season on KSL Sports Rewind and our third full season together. And Josh, an interesting storylines in this ball game. These two teams come in pretty much evenly matched. Alta, the talent's there, of course. Juan Diego's got talent on their side. 15 returning starters for the Soaring Eagle. But the thing is, both of these teams have first-year head coaches.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a test for both of them. You've got, on one hand, a lot of experience, but maybe not as much talent. And on the other hand, you've got the championship-type pedigree in Alta, but they've got an identity that they need to establish early on.
So now, before we go any further, it's time to look at our Heidemann & Associates keys to the game presented by the full-service law firm that is committed to winning for you, the client, Heidemann & Associates. Josh Dodge, I know this is pretty much a toss-up, but what do both teams need to do to get out of here with a win here on opening night?
So Juan Diego, with their veer offense, they need to be able to get creative with the run, as the veer often does. They need to, possibly open up a pass here or there on a surprise play action, but they're definitely going to be getting dirty in between the trenches. And Alta, like I said, they need to establish an identity for themselves. They have the pedigree from last year, but this is a brand new season, and they got a long way to go if they're going to make it back to state.
Of course, like Josh said, Blake Burdett, first game here as the head coach of the Alta Hawks, taking over for the legendary Ale Mateo, who retired during the offseason. Of course, Danny Larson taking over. As we take a look at the weather forecast right now here at Juan Diego High School, it is a cool in terms of temperature feel. The real temperature is 93 degrees here at kickoff. But Josh Dodge, the wind right now, south-southeast at 18 miles per hour. That could play into the favor of the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle tonight, given that Alta relies a lot on the passing game.
Yeah, definitely. If the wind starts gusting when the ball gets up into the air, it's definitely going to make it hard for those receivers for Alta. Whereas, like you said, Juan Diego doesn't mind. They're going to be grounding and pounding it.
And Juan Diego, we're going to get to see them right away as they will win the coin toss. They elected to take the ball first. And they will match up against this very good Alta team. And Josh, you have to say, Alta, Timpview, those two teams, if all goes to plan, could end up meeting each other or seeing each other somewhere down the road in the playoffs. And it could happen at Rice-Eccles Stadium.
It's very possible, but I'm sure that these coaches right here will be like, hey, let's just take it one at a time. It's opening nights, and they're just looking to get their boys out there and get those early season jitters out. They need to get some experience and some snaps under them.
Like we said, Alta returning only 5 starters total from last season. They have a new quarterback. Of course, quarterback Tucker Brown, their starter tonight. But Juan Diego, 15 starters returning, 8 on offense, 7 on defense, 10 newcomers as well. Led, of course, by quarterback Hayden Mazinin, who we're going to see right off the top here tonight. Again, Juan Diego won the toss. They elected to receive the kickoff. And we are set to begin another great season of football here on KSL Sports Rewind. And, of course, Josh, we remember in the back of our minds Dusty Litster, who we're starting the season without him. And we know that all of Utah, our thoughts with him and his family tonight. Definitely, we miss Dusty having him here tonight as part of our crew.
Absolutely. KSL Rewind wouldn't be where it is without Dusty, and we have him in our thoughts and our prayers, and we wish you well. Get better, Dusty.
And with all of that, we are ready to start the 19th overall season of KSL Sports Rewind. And we are ready to begin the third season for me on the air here tonight, of course. But Josh, this will be your first full season with me. Of course, Gavin Atkinson down here below us operating the computer tonight will be part of our camera and color crew this season. I bet you're excited as I am to get this thing started.
Oh, man, I can't even explain the jitters right now. I feel probably like a lot of those guys out there on the field right now. First game of the season, got a lot to prove, and I'm just excited to get going here.
So we are ready. And, folks, we hope you are as well.
For you thousands of people in the arena and millions of people around the world, let's get ready to rumble.
The Utah high school football season is ready. The Beehive State is ready. We are ready as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, the high school football season has begun, and the kickoff goes through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And let's now see what offensive coordinator DJ Larson does against this very potent Alta defense. And Josh, like we said, it is going to be a very stiff test to see how this running game fares against this Alta defense.
Definitely, and if I had to hedge my bet, I'd say Juan Diego's going to run the ball first.
Well, you would think. It is the Veer offense, after all. They come out in the split back. And
get a jump early.
Right off the bat.
That sudden movement from the line as they go down to set just drew the jitters out of Alta early, and they get a free 5 yards to start off the season.
That's Caleb Walker, the edge back, who got called for the false start on the defensive side, because there's no such thing as offsides. There is offside. And on the dive play on first down, it's a handoff up the middle, and getting the carry is the B-back Antonio Archuleta, and he will move the chains after a pickup of 6 yards.
It's the difference between the book of Revelation and Revelations. There's no revelations in the Bible. You can only, in this football game, you only have one side to be off on.
And
there he goes again.
Offside. That's the second one that Juan Diego has drawn, and I believe they're going to get the nose tackle Sterling Toelupe this time. And that's going to be a problem, Josh, if that's going to be a challenge, too, for Alta, is because they set so quickly as a unit.
Yeah, that's something that the defensive coordinator is going to have to get in the lineman's ear, defense, in order to tell him, like, hey, like, we can't be jumping off sides like that, giving them free yards. Calm down and let's just play some football.
And there's another carry as Corbin Buckley, the tailback, gets the carry. And the Soaring Eagle, 2 carries, 2 first downs, abetted, of course, by penalties.
First and 10 from the 45.
Darian Otto lines up as the H-back. Double wide receiver split out to the left in this spread back veer offense that is basically a triple option offense. You're going to see a lot of movement between the quarterback and the B-backs, and here is the handoff this time to Archuleta, and this time he gets stoned at the line of scrimmage.
See what happens when Alta just settles down and they read the play correctly. They stop him for a relatively no gain.
Ben Wollenberg got in there to blow everything up.
Yeah, he got a great release off of the ball as he was staying disciplined and move when the ball moves.
Hayden Mazinin, the junior, with Antonio Archuleta, number 8, and Corbin Buckley, number 22, the fullback and the tailback in this spread back veer set. Darian Otto lines up as the tight end. 2nd down and 9 from the 46. And again, the B-back handoff. This is to, I believe that's Archuleta. It is. And he gets close to midfield. Now, the key here, Josh Dodge, is if you're Alta and if you're running this triple option veer offense, you want to stop the dive. That's the key right there. And you want to make sure you get minimal yardage. As quickly they come back to the line here on 3rd down and call it 6 now from the 49.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly where Alta wants to be with this short yardage runs. The Juan Diego is going to be hard pressed to pick up this, and he goes down as he tries to get it to the outside for 1-yard game, but it's going to be 4th down, and Juan Diego's going to look to punt.
That's Bennett Coaster who got in there with the stop as Mazinin tried to take it on the quarterback option out to the right.
And the offense is staying on the field for now.
Well, you might as well. 4th and 5.
At the 50.
And you've been able to gain good chunks of yardage, 5 or 6 yards a pop before that last couple of yardage.
10 of that being from penalty.
Right, exactly. That's the other thing you got to realize. 10 of them was from penalty.
Hey, but you'll take what you can get. You know, like if you can draw him offside again here with a quick down set, as he's calling the play, and they're gonna get down and there.
And they got it. They did it again. Right on cue, Mr. Dodge. This time they're going to get Justin Hopkins, who was lined up over center as the one who crossed over the neutral zone.
Total gamesmanship here. They're going to steal every yard that they can get, every point that they can get in this game. They know that they're undermatched against this 5A opponent in Alta. Juan Diego is.
So 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. This already is the 6th play of the drive, and a drive that has eaten up nearly 3.5 minutes of game time. Mazinin, quick backside dive, and that is stopped for a minimal gain on the handoff to number 8, Archuleta. Noah Forbes and Bear Turner coming up from their safety and rover spots to make the stop. Just underway here, Alexander Timolip, Josh Dodge here at Soaring Eagle Stadium on the opening Friday night of Utah high school football. Last night, of course, if you were with the K-Jazz crew, Dave Fox and co., it was a thriller at Timpview High School. Timpview coming back to defeat Skyridge 33-29. Timpview was down 29-14 at halftime, scored the final 19 points of the game, and shut out the Falcons in the second half. Archuleta goes in motion, handoff up the middle this time, goes to Buckley on the wingback dive, and the ball comes out after the whistle.
And Buckley does his job there. He just drives those legs as he gets just a few yards there on 2nd down to set it up for 3rd and about 4 now.
Bring it up now, the 9th play of the drive coming up here for this Juan Diego offense. Bennett Coaster in there again to make the stop. See how Joe Tuha's defense adjusts to this play. 9 plays, all runs, we think. 8 plays of the first 9 have been runs.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the ball in the air yet.
And they aren't going to do it here either. In a big hole up the middle, but it's closed quickly. Good penetration up front by Turner and by Coaster. And this will bring up another 4th down. And Josh, I assume with it being 4th and 3, I mean, you gain so much yards by penalty and by ground, you might as well just go for it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to gamble for it at midfield and then to punt it at the 38 here. You're going to look to draw him offside again or to power it up the middle.
Archuleta and Buckley have gotten the bulk of the carries. Mazinin has only kept it once on the option keeper. And he's going to keep it on the power option here. He's got a good block to his left, and he's got the first down as he gets taken down out of bounds late, but no flag.
Yeah, and with them running up the middle, multiple times in a row, that sweep was going to be wide open for a 6 or 7 yard gain for Hayden Mazinin there.
And a good block, too, on the edge there from Antonio Archuleta, or rather it was Buckley, number 22, who led the way for him and gave him that little extra crackback on the edge to seal Bear Turner. So play number 10 on the drive. 1st and 10 from the Alta 30. Mazinin, audibilizing. Takes the snap, now hands off to now keeps it on himself up the middle. And he gets about maybe 3 yards on the quarterback option to the right guard.
Might have needed to hand it off there as the end man stayed to play the quarterback there, but he faked and he followed and he still picked up the yardage anyway.
12th play of the drive, and we have 6 minutes left of the first quarter. 12 plays on a drive that started at the 20. Now it has advanced to the 24 of Alta. Already 6 minutes and 15 seconds eaten up off the clock. And this is exactly what Skyridge did to Timpview last night, and it nearly worked. Second down and 7. Mazinin, hands off, up the middle, bouncing it to the outside is Archuleta, and Archuleta gets brought down from behind. He was a shoestring or two away from breaking out to the outside, brought down on the play.
And you heard a little roar out of this crowd as you see him break open in the open field, and you don't see that quite often as you often see scrums up the middle with Juan Diego. But I sense that they're going to have a little bit of fireworks here. They got some misdirection going. They've got their snap counts, mixed so that they can be able to get some free yards, and they need to just keep playing their game. Third and short here. We've got 2 downs to be able to pick up this first and 2 yards.
First, 3rd down and 3 now from the 23-yard line. Matt McKay made the last stop. It's a misdirection backside dive, and it goes nowhere. Archuleta swallowed up by a whole host of white shirts. He got 2 yards, but it's 4th and a yard now from the 21-yard line, and obviously Alta is preparing for a situation where they will go for it once again, as we have an equipment problem here. Looks like it's the center, Hunter Landers, that has to come out for a bit, so he'll be replaced. And another rotation in, so an unbalanced line here on this 4th down play. On play number 14 of this nearly 8-minute drive, that has gained almost 50 yards.
And it looks like Nick Gilmartin, the right tackle, is going to slide into center.
Darian Otto now shifts over. Double wide receiver still out to the right, but still no passes. 14 runs, no passes. And we assume that this 14th play will be a run as well. Mazinin takes it and
ball's on the
gives
ground.
It up to the B-back, Buckley, and Buckley has it. I thought it was on the ground too, Josh Dodge, but
the way that Hayden Mazinin reacted. The way that Mazinin reacted, I definitely thought he dropped the ball, and there was a mishandle or miscommunication between back and quarterback, but they picked up the first.
So the drive continues for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. 15 plays now, 50 yards, and Josh Dodge, look at how much time's left in this quarter. Almost 10 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, and that's gonna be Juan Diego's game plan. Let's just keep the ball for the whole quarter and even more.
This is quite a drive that Juan Diego's putting together. See if they can punch it in the end zone. Buckley and Archuleta now in the backfield. Handoff to the right side on the dive play. That goes actually to Roman Rosano, the secondary tailback, in for Buckley.
And just the way that Juan Diego runs their offense, they get everybody set except for the quarterback. The quarterback often wanders over to the sideline to get the call from the coach. And then when he's ready, winding that play clock down and eating up that game clock, he's going to go back and he's going to communicate with his line, communicate with his backs, and then run the play. It's set up so that they can just eat clock as much as they can.
16 plays now. This will be the 16th play of the drive. All of them have been runs up to this point. 2nd and 8 from the 17-yard line of Alta. This drive has now eaten up 11 and a half minutes of game clock. Mazinin, quarterback option, left side, breaks a tackle. Mazinin, goodbye! Touchdown, Juan Diego!
Hayden Mazinin. Touchdown, Soaring Eagle.
And Hayden Mazinin runs the football just like his team operates. He's going one direction, then he's going to come back against the grain, using Alta's momentum against them as he cuts back and gets in for the touchdown.
And how about this, Josh Dodge? The Chicago Blackhawks goal song playing right now. A little Chelsea Dagger.
I love it.
That's a new one.
I love it. It's a mix of cultures. You have the celebration and the hype here as Juan Diego goes up early on their first drive.
The extra point is up.
Eating up 80% of this first quarter.
The extra point is up, and it is good. 2:23 left in the first quarter. For Eagle, and to the tune of Joker and the Thief. We are set to kick off once again. It's an onside kick, and Juan Diego, I think, recovered it.
And the surprise there from Juan Diego, they knew that they were leaning on this Alta team, and they're just going to lean on him some more.
Well, how about this?
The crowd is loving it.
Head coach Denny Larson rolling the dice. And now that tired Alta defense, Josh, gets right back on the field.
Yeah, and it's not tired from running and going fast. It's from the strength and the exertion and just being leaned on. You know, they tried to get off the field multiple times on fourth down and couldn't do it, and ended up giving up 7 in the end. And maybe we'll likely have the same result here.
So Juan Diego, 16 plays, 80 yards, 937. They're right back on the field on 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line of Alta. Mazzino.
Now the ball's on the ground.
Yeah, now the ball's on the ground. Dropped the snap and is lucky to get back on top of it. But, Josh, you have to think, right, like we said, Alta, the one thing that they have to do, they have to stop the dive, number one. But the second thing is they have to put Juan Diego behind the sticks like they're doing right now.
Yeah, and that's just a drop pass by Hayden Mazzinin, but hey, Alta's also going to take that. You know, like they're going backwards or get net zero on that play. And it's just a loss of down, and they got to go back to Juan Diego's got to go back to the line, and they got to regroup.
Hayden Mazzinin, the 16-yard touchdown run to put Juan Diego on the board. Then the surprise onside kick by Darian Otto. And now Juan Diego right back out there. Play clock down to 3, down to 2, and they just got it away, and the dive up the middle goes this time to Rosano. He's just pushing the pile forward, driving those legs into submission down about the 41-yard line. He needed 11. He picked up 6.
You know, and the other tricky thing about these split backs is that they're not standing up like a typical tailback. They're leaning down like as low as the line, or sometimes even lower than the line with those big uglies up there. They're hiding their movement, and they're going to be able to, you know, fool Alta's defense. And like, where's the ball? Is it here? Is it there? That's what all the misdirection is for.
Under a minute to go, Alta has not run a single play in this first quarter. Juan Diego has now run 19 plays. Play clock down to 5. Mazzinin looking over the defense. And it's a dive up the middle again. And another good pickup for a first down, as that's Buckley, or Archuleta rather, getting right behind the center. Another pickup, another first down for Juan Diego. And they are just making this look way too easy right now. They're
just getting downhill. Those tailbacks know exactly what they're supposed to do, doing their job, being explosive off the out of the backfield, whether they get the ball or not. They're either decoys or they're getting the ball.
20th play that Juan Diego has run in this quarter, and I do not believe they're going to run a play because we're at 10 seconds left in this quarter.
You could get another one off.
My money's on they're not going to. Minus 1,000, and I lose 1,000. I'm not a betting man, but I'll take the under on that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't take your betting advice.
Yes. Well, thank you. It's good you wouldn't. But anyway, Juan Diego, 20 plays in the first quarter, and they are in front early and driving again against the 5A Alta Hawks. Diego leads, now going to the opposite end of the field. We'll tell you the story of the first quarter in just a second from the split back formation. Here's a sweep to the near side to Buckley. Or rather, that's to Rossano, and Roman Rossano takes it to about the 32-yard line. Alexander Timolip, Josh Dodge here at Juan Colasomo Field here at Soaring Eagle Stadium. Juan Diego went 16 plays in 80 yards in 9 minutes and 37 seconds, scored a touchdown. And now they're right back on the field, Josh Dodge, following a shocking onside kick.
They're executing their game plan to perfection right now, and they knew that Juan Diego knew that onside kick was going to either work really well or be a disaster for them. Alta is back on their heels. They're being pushed off the ball, and they're not ready for this game right now. They got to get their heads in it, and they got to get a stop here. as it is 2nd and 8.
Here's a handoff. Big hole for Archuleta. And he's got a first down to the 25-yard line.
Antonio Archuleta.
They just keep feeding the backs, and they just keep doing work. 9 more yards there for Antonio Archuleta.
Yep, and they're spreading it around. It's Archuleta, it's Rossano, it's Buckley, it's Mazinin keeping it himself. They're spreading the wealth, spreading the love, and they're using this misdirection to their advantage.
And what's more, no passes.
No passes.
22 plays have been run now. This will be the 22nd play coming up for Juan Diego. The first 21, all running plays, no throws.
You know, often what you'll see in high school and college now is a lot of speed, and a screen pass is the extension of the running game, but not here for Juan Diego. They're running the veer, and they're going right up the middle.
Look out again, Archuleta. Well, we have a flag down in the backfield, and from where it's tossed, I have a suspicion that this is coming back, and it is. Brandon Riley makes the call. It's a holding against the Soaring Eagle. That's Nick Gill-Martin, the right guard, or the left tackle. And if you're Alta right now, this is the manna from heaven you need, because now Juan Diego's behind the chains, and you got to get something out of this.
Yeah, you got to hold him here. You got to make him punt. You got to make him punt from here. You don't want him. You don't want to give him 7 yards and 7 yards, and then they get to 3rd, 4th down, and they know that they're going to be able to lean on you again to be able to go for it and continue this drive.
I think we may see a pass here.
Are you a betting man again? Do you want to put odds on that?
Nope. It's going to sweep to the far side to Archuleta, who's been the workhorse here thus far, and now we have another flag that flies in from the back.
And they give the gift right back.
Yeah, they swung down to at the 30-yard line, and then another flag comes out late from Brandon Riley's crew. The white hat Brandon Riley threw the flag, so we're either going to have offsetting penalties or double penalty against Alta, which would be, Josh Dodge,
devastating.
A devastating blow, because we know we're going to have a face mask.
But like you said, it's a question. Is it offsetting or is it compounding?
And running off to the sideline there, I don't know if people saw it, but Bennett Coaster just threw his helmet on the ground. So I wonder out loud, there's actually 3 flags down right now. Tim Justice is our referee tonight. Pete Harmon, the umpire. Craig Jensen, the headlinesman. The line judge is Brendan Lawson, and then the back judge is Trey Nicholson, and the center judge is Travis Turner. So a face mask against... So it is a face mask and a personal foul against Alta, so that means double, triple trouble. And look where they're marking this.
Calls a personal foul, face mask, followed by an unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, perhaps we're going to get a tale of two halves like we did Skyridge and Timpview last night, where Juan Diego's going to have their way in the first half, but I'd like to see a good game. I'd like to see Alta be able to do some. Of course, they haven't touched the ball yet, but we definitely need to see some changes here from Alta, or else this is going to be a really long and grueling game for them.
23rd play Juan Diego has run in this first half. It's a handoff to the near side. This is Rosano, and Rosano gets pummeled in the backfield. Good pursuit there from Matt McKay, coming up from his free safety position. Loss of 2 yards on the play, 2nd and goal from the 10. There was a personal foul for a face mask and then an unsportsmanlike conduct against Alta. That's why the ball is so far down here in the red zone.
Just more of those free yards, Alex.
Yeah, 5 penalties already for Alta in this game. 3 offsides on that first drive in the first quarter, and now compounding it with 2 more penalties here. Tough start for the Hawks here, backed up against their own goal line now. Rosano goes in motion, handoff to Archuleta, and Archuleta powers his way forward for about 3. Down to the 6.5-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and goal from about that spot.
Archuleta on the carry.
And this is where the Hawks defensive line and linebacker core can really see what they're made of, as they're, like you said, backed up against their own goal line, and it's 3rd down. They've been able to stop Juan Diego on the first 2 downs. Let's see if they can be able to do it again.
You wondered if this is going to be 2 downs to get in the end zone, or Mazinin might throw this.
No, That's going to be Juan Diego's game plan. It's going to be 2 downs, definitely. The way that they've been going forward on 4th down, taking those risks, onside kick, it is all or nothing right now for Juan Diego.
Already 6 minutes eaten on this drive. It's a dive. No, it's a pitch. And Archuleta's pummeled in the backfield.
Wasn't sure if it was a backwards pitch or if it was sideways.
Not sure, but Riker Ellis gets up there for the stop, and that will bring on the field goal unit here for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. But you have to think for the Soaring Eagle, like any kind of points at this point, that's a win.
Definitely. Stealing yards, stealing points, that's going to be Juan Diego's brand.
Buckley now going to replace Archuleta on that wing-back side. This will be call it a 26-yard attempt. The snap, good. Hold, good. Kick is on the way, and it is good. So 2 possessions and 2 scores for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle, and they lead 10-0 here on the Rewind Sports Network. After a 26-yard field goal, as we have an up back for Alta chased off.
Probably for an equipment issue.
So we're having another...
Got to take off your necklace. Got to take off your earrings, man.
So Newport set to kick off. Newport, the senior, converted the 26-yard field goal. Another double-digit play drive for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. 10 plays.
It's going to be offside.
Yep, and we have a flag down for offside. So this would be the first penalty of the game.
Kick is in the end zone. That'll be a touchback, and Alta will finally get the ball at the 20-yard line.
And it was an illegal formation as we had too many people leaving before the ball crossed the line. So we'll do it again.
Check that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a re-kick.
First penalty of the game against Juan Diego. Alexander Timmo alongside Josh Dodge here at Soaring Eagle Stadium here in Draper, Utah. It is 10-0. Juan Diego, 2 possessions, 2 scores. A 16-play, 80-yard drive that ate up almost 10 minutes. And then a surprise onside kick, and then 10 more plays.
Well, and wouldn't it be interesting that after the illegal procedure, you throw him a curveball and you just kick another onside right here?
Are you a betting man this time?
No, he's going to kick it deep.
Yeah, he did.
Squibbed, kind of.
He line drives it into the end zone for a touchback, does Newport. So Alta will finally get its first possession of the season. And Josh, I don't normally say this, but this is a big possession here for Alta. Like, they have to put points on the board.
Well, we're 16 minutes into this game, and Alta is just now seeing the ball. You know, like in any other game, they might have a second or a third possession at this point, but because of the nature of Juan Diego's play style, you know, the Hawks are just now trotting onto the field to be able to gain some yards themselves.
So now we'll see Tucker Brown in this offense go to work for the first time. And he'll come out with 4 wide receivers in that classic run-and-shoot set. Brown lines up in the gun, 4 wide receivers, doubles to either side. Motions the gun out of the backfield. And Brown to throw on first down. And the throw is behind and incomplete. And we have a late flag coming in as Brown is on the deck as well. And I believe this is going to be
roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer penalty, and it is.
But hey, 2 sides of a coin, right? Juan Diego, it runs their entire 2 possessions, and Alta comes out with a pass for the first play.
It's what we expected. Such a difference between these 2 teams in terms of scheme is concerned.
And that's what makes it fun. You know, you just see the gamesmanship, you see the clash of the play styles, and, you know, which one is going to be better, which one's going to come out on top, and Juan Diego's on top right now.
Brown looking on first down, throws. That pass is bobbled and almost picked off. Threw it a little bit behind the intended receiver, the slot back, Trevin Fabrizio. And then it popped up in the air, and then it was up for grabs. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And the safety, Braylon Fail, was able to get a hand on that as it was behind the receiver. He was able to knock that away.
If you're just joining us, we want to welcome in those of you watching on the KSL Sports Friday Night Red Zone, streaming live on the app, and of course, listening live on 97.5 at 1280 AM, the KSL Sports Zone. Alexander Timolip, Josh Dodge here at the Soaring Eagle Stadium, where Alta trails 10-0. Here's the handoff right side, and going absolutely nowhere is the tailback, Nolan Loans.
I'd say that Juan Diego sees that play a lot in practice, just right up the middle, so they know exactly how to play it.
Lachlan Cruz, the nose tackle in there to get the stop. And that'll bring up a big third down here for Alta. Remember, this is just the third true play they're going to run. Juan Diego has already run 26 plays. 3rd down and 8. Loans is the setback. Double wide receivers either side. Brown to throw. Going to flare it out in the flat, and it's dropped. Intended for Matt McKay. And it's 4th and 8 here for Alta. And let's see what head coach Blake Burdett does with his offensive coordinator here, Marshall Hendrickson.
Well, with how Juan Diego has been playing this, you have to think, okay, we cannot give it back to the Soaring Eagle again for them to just run it out for the half, because that's exactly what Juan Diego would do getting the ball back here. And the offense is going to stay on the field.
Wow, this is a gutsy call here. 4th and 8. And Alta going to go for it on their plus side of the field. Need to make it to the 45-yard line for a first down. Brown to throw. Blitz coming. He lofts it up into coverage. It is incomplete. And a turnover on downs, and one. So he will take a timeout. And we will take one with them back in 30 seconds after this word from Mountain Land Truck Outfitters on the Rewind Sports Network. That really is our score right now. Juan Diego leads 10-0. And following a turnover on downs in Alta territory, Josh Dodge alongside me, Alexander Timolip. Josh, can you imagine how big this would be if Juan Diego is able to get 7 points out of this?
Yeah, it would definitely be on an upset alert for Alta, because, I mean, every time that Juan Diego gets the ball back in the way that they've been able to push Alta off the ball, you just know that they're going to get points as long as they're getting yards.
Buckley and Archuleta, the two backs. And it's a dive play right back up the middle to Buckley. And again, another 5-yard chunk right there. And that dive play, Juan Diego, they just keep going to the well again and again and again.
Yeah, and if you look, the center and both the guards are firing off the ball. They know it's going to be a run. They know that they need to clear out. And the quarterback is even able to step forward with the split back to be able to hand it off to him. He's already a yard downfield as he's handing off that ball.
10-0, Juan Diego. This will be the 28th play they have run. The prior 27 have been runs, no passes out of this spread option veer. And it's another run. This is Buckley. Gets a block. Buckley gets another block. Buckley, 10, and brought down inside the 10. Great blocking on the outside. And it's 1st and goal again for Juan Diego.
And Alta's going to have a line change up front, as they need to have some kind of answer. They need fresh fresh legs out there, and they need to get a drive. They need to get a push. They need penetration down there, and they're just not getting it right now.
That's the biggest run ripped off by the Soaring Eagle in this first half. 21 yards. Mazina looking for the play, not getting it. Now he does. Had trouble looking back into the sun. Play clock now down to 8. Play clock down to 1. They get it away. Hand off to the right side. And this time, Buckley goes nowhere.
He's going to lose 4 or 5. But that's exactly the penetration that I was talking about. These linebackers and these safeties need to get downhill, and those linemen up front need to get a push.
Jackson DeMille right there reading the trap. And able to get Buckley in the backfield before he was able to get ahead of steam. Loss of 4 yards on the play.
And you could tell that he had a little bit of frustration as he threw down Buckley there in the backfield. He's kind of fed up with the score and the situation right now, being on his minus 15.
Now we have a stoppage here as we're trying to figure out where the play clock is. The play clock was actually reading 15. Now it reads 18. Now it reads 25. And I think they got it sorted out now. Second and goal now from the 14. Still no passes yet in this game for Juan Diego. I know we keep harping on it, but at some point there's going to be one. Mazinin. And it's going to be a power to the right side. Mazinin gets a block, and he'll pick up the 5 yards lost back, plus 1 more. And he'll make a 3rd and goal from the 9. And you can see, Josh, now that the middle is open, is being clogged up, they're starting to run that trap and that sweep and that little wing back power, or the quarterback power to the outside.
Definitely, and that's the creativity I'm talking about. And it was a speed option out there as he was going to be able to pitch it if he needed to. You know, they're going left, they're going right, they're going up the middle, changing directions.
3rd down and goal now from the 9. Juan Diego trying to punch it in here and get 7 more on the board.
It's going to be
and
a false
flag.
start.
And we're going to have a neutral zone infraction against Alta again. That'll be the 4th one of this half. And so that makes it 3rd and very manageable now. And that probably takes a pass out of the equation.
Possibly.
I say possibly, Mr. Dodge. I say possibly.
Possibly because the probabilities are already so low.
Right. They still could.
Yeah, maybe they'll surprise even us.
3rd and goal now from the 4. Mazinin, double back split in the veer. Mazinin, handoff. Touchdown! Archuleta!
And this game is just getting ugly for Alta. They're gonna need their offense to hang on for the remaining 4 minutes of this half, put some points on the board so that they have something going into halftime. Now, granted, Alta's going to get the ball to start the second half, so maybe they can get some momentum there with back-to-back possessions.
Newport on to attempt the extra point. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 17-0.
There's a flag.
There's a flag down after the extra point. We'll sort out the flag.
Look, he's waving them back on the field. They want to go for 2.
And it looks like it's going to be potentially against Alta, but we'll hold on here for a second. So the official signal is unsportsmanlike conduct against Juan Diego. It will be enforced on the kickoff. We'll take a break with Juan Diego putting Alta on upset alert here late in the first half on Rewind. Well, folks, you heard the phrase any given Sunday. Look at the scoreboard right now, and it's pretty much playing out that way. Juan Diego up 17-0 on the 5A semifinalists, Alta, Alexander Timolip, and Juan Diego, and Josh Dodge alongside me. Josh, I've been doing this now for almost 3 years. I have never seen this kind of domination before.
Oh, definitely. And I'm sure there are going to be many things that you see for the first time as you keep continuing doing this. And Juan Diego, they're exactly where they want to be. They're up by 17. They're leaning on Alta, and Alta has no identity right now. They run 4 plays, have 2 minutes of possession, and yeah.
What more can you say?
Yeah, I'm speechless.
As the kickoff is returned here, and back up the middle, past midfield, and getting shoved out by the kicker, Newport, is Fabrizio.
That'll put a spark in Alta as they start with the ball on the 40-plus 42-yard line.
So it is 17-0. Alta leads, or trails here.
Make that the 46.
I mean, what more can you say about this half? I mean, this has just been unbelievable. Alta's run only 4 plays. They have had 1 possession. This is only their second. And Juan Diego, meanwhile, has had 3 possessions. They have ended in touchdown, field goal, touchdown. Brown to throw on first down. Screen play to Loans, and Loans is swallowed up.
Yeah, Alta's definitely on a steep learning curve right now. They gotta make some adjustments, and they gotta get back into this game fast, or else it's gonna get ugly.
And it's what Blake Burdett told me, that Juan Diego was gonna bring a challenge offensively, and they needed to play assignment sound football on both sides. Triple wide receiver now lines up to the left in that run and shoot set. Loans is the setback next to Tucker Brown. And Brown to throw on second down, looking, throws. That's complete, sitting in the zone and making the catches. Fabrizio breaks a tackle and gets brought down at the 30. And that's the first down of the night for Alta, and it comes with 2:58 left in the second quarter on just their 6th play.
And the first downfield completed pass in this game for either team.
That's true. There have been 5 passes, all by Alta.
Yeah, we had a little pitch out by Juan Diego earlier. We've had a couple screen passes by Alta, and that's the first downfield shot that they've been able to complete. And we are 21 minutes into this game.
That pass thrown behind, intended for Ethan Morton. Gonna bring up second down and 10.
Can you imagine if an NFL game had 1 completed pass and it was in the second quarter, 21 minutes into the game?
We would have been done already. We would have literally have been done with the game already at that point, Josh. With how these running backs work today in the NFL, we would have been done by then.
Definitely.
Double wide receiver now lines up to the right with an H-back in the formation. Play clock down to 5 for Tucker Brown. Play clock down to 1, and they're not going to get it off. And a timeout has been called by Blake Burdett to avoid the delay of game. And so we'll take one with them. 2 minutes and 27 seconds left in this first half. And Alta trying to dent the scoreboard before the intermission. Into Provo to take on the powerful Timpview Thunderbirds. Lone Peak against Timpview. In one of our Friday night feature games of the week, yours truly, Alexander Timolip, will have the call, along with one Gavin Atkinson next week, Friday night, on the Rewind Sports Network. Your home for Utah high school sports. We begin our 19th season of covering high school sports, and we have a major upset on the cards here. Juan Diego leading late here in the first half, 17-0. Alexander Tumulip joined by Josh Dodge. Josh, you and I were just talking about it. Alta needs anything, just a field goal to see that 0 go off that board.
Yeah, it'll put some confidence in them. You know, they had to take a timeout there because they're just coming out flat-footed in this game, and they need to get their heads together, and they need to understand what their game plan is, and they need to establish an identity.
Loans gets stood up right at the 30-yard line. And that's going to bring up 3rd and a long 8. And Gavin and Josh and I were all just talking about it here during the break, that this is definitely 4-down territory for Alta unless you can get inside the 25-yard line and kick a field goal.
Even if you get inside the 25, I think that you may consider going for it if it's 4th and 1 or 2.
We'll see what they do here. Double wide receivers to either side. The setback is Loans next to Tucker Brown. They bring pressure. It's picked up. Pass. Caught. First down. And Fabrizio has the first down inside the 20, down to the 14-yard line. They'll mark him at the 16, but that's a first down for Alta.
Brought down by Kingston Kevin on the high tackle. That's the first down from the 16-yard line.
As the Hawks now march into the red zone for the first time this evening. And it comes with 1:35 and rolling here in the first half. Remember, Alta will get the football to begin proceedings in the second half.
Like I said, if they can get those back-to-back possessions, get a little bit of momentum, they'll be right back in this game. Considering, of course, they actually put points on the board in those possessions.
Pass is caught. Fabrizio knocked out of bounds. After a pickup of about maybe 6, he'll stop the clock with 1:15 to go here in the first half. Again, we want to welcome those of you who may be cutting in and out on the Rewind Red Zone with Dane Stewart and Jeff Hansen watching us live on the KSL Plus app, or maybe listening to us on the Red Zone on 97.5 FM or 1280 AM, the KSL Sports Zone. Second down and 2 now from call it the 8-yard line. They mark it officially at the 9. Alta can get a first down at the 6 without scoring. Play action, throw, end zone, caught, touchdown! Trevin Fabrizio. And Alta has life here late in the first half.
And Fabrizio's has been Tucker Brown's bread and butter, his go-to outlet this entire drive. He's got it going. He's getting open, and that's a much-needed score for Alta there as they're finally settling into this game.
1:12 left in this first half. Waiting for the snap for the extra point. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is good. 17-7 in favor of Juan Diego now with 1:12 to go. And with the time and the clock being where it is, we'll just keep it right here on the air. And remind you that next Friday, the Rewind Sports Network will continue its coverage of high school football with another great matchup. Join Matt Coma and Moose Bingham as they travel to Orem to watch the American Fork Cavemen take on the Orem Tigers. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. Coverage starts just after 7 p.m. on the Rewind Sports Network with Matt Coma and Moose Bingham. Here it's Alexander Tumulip alongside Josh Dodge here at Juan Coasomo Field here at Soaring Eagle Stadium. And really at this point, Josh, I think if you're Juan Diego, the question now becomes, how aggressive do you play this next drive?
Oh, I think that Juan Diego is exactly where they want to be, and they would be perfectly happy with running out this 1:12. The question that I have is, if you're Blake Burdett, do you kick your own onside kick right here and try to score again before the half?
Yeah, because there's no guarantee you're going to get the ball back, especially with the way Juan Diego's been running the ball.
Yeah, with only 2 timeouts, you won't get the ball back.
And it's just a line drive straight through the middle, and it'll be a touchback as Archuleta will not be able to return it. So 1:12 to go. That'll bring out Hayden Mazzinan in this offense again.
First and 10, Soaring Eagle from the 20.
Be first and 10 on the 20. Everything been going to plan for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagles so far. Alta only 2 possessions in this half. They ended in a turnover on downs in their own territory, and then they scored a touchdown to get back within 10. Mazina, meanwhile, has led Juan Diego to 3 straight scoring drives, a touchdown, a field goal, and a touchdown. And we have yet another neutral zone infraction.
Well, maybe they do. Maybe Juan Diego does get a little bit aggressive. Now, I would be surprised if they actually throw the ball down the field, but, you know.
We need to put a wager on that right now. We need to put a wager on that right now, Josh Dodge, to see when they're going to throw the ball.
When they're going to throw the ball? Like past the line of scrimmage?
Who knows when that's going to be, though.
Okay. So is the wager going to be like never? They don't throw the ball past the line of scrimmage all game? Or
look at this. They do throw, and a wide open man.
As I eat my own words.
No flags. Touchdown, Juan Diego. I take it back.
Can you say commentators curse, Alex?
I take it back. I take it back. 75 yards.
You know, I just,
the immortal words of Triple A, why are they throwing the ball?
I just had a feeling that was going to happen. That Juan Diego with their veer offense, you know, they're running up the middle. There's only 112 left in this half. They're not going to throw the ball. And then the wide receiver blows right by him and is able to score for Juan Diego here.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Braylon Fail credited with that touchdown, 75 yards. As Newport knocks through the extra point, it is 24-7.
Left in the first half with the Tage McKinley hold. The Soaring Eagle leads 24.
And Josh, now I turn to you as we bring it down off that amazing call by the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. That, you know, those are the kind of things in this kind of game that Juan Diego, that kind of response, they really, really needed after that touchdown drive.
Definitely, and Danny Larson knows exactly what he's doing and implementing this game plan right now. He's holding that downfield pass. He knows that it's going to be open at some point, and he's like, hey, 112 left in the half. We take a downfield shot, and you got nothing to lose. You have absolutely nothing to lose, and you have everything to gain as you go back up 17.
Hayden Mazinin to Braylon Fail, 75-yard strike. What an unbelievable turn of events here at Soaring Eagle Stadium. Just when it seemed like Alta was getting back into this game, Juan Diego stealing the momentum. Braden Newport now will kick off.
Lauren Keegan to the game tonight. Lauren, good to see you.
Newport kicks off short this time. It'll be taken by Morton at the 3. Morton, 20, and he gets nailed. Good one-on-one tackle out of the 21-yard line.
All right, 55 seconds, 2 timeouts for Alta. Now, what do you do if you're Blake Burdett's in this situation?
It'll be hard and hard.
We're about to find out what offensive coordinator Marshall Hendrickson has in his bag of tricks here. (24-7). Juan Diego. A scoreline that I don't think even the best prognosticators would have seen coming.
And that's the beauty of football is any given Sunday, like you said. Well, we're about to be under the Friday night lights here in just about half an hour as the sun goes down behind the western.
Penalty flag for a delay of game. That's going to be the 8th penalty of the half against Alta. And if you're an Alta fan right now, I mean, this has got to be difficult for you to watch because this just doesn't look the same Alta team that we've seen the last few years. But, you know, and as you see, Blake Burdett has had enough. He's called a timeout. And, Josh, you know, you had to know as a fan of Alta, though, it's a young team. It's a first-year head coach. The only 5 returning starters. you kind of knew going into this game, you and I included, that there was going to be some growing pains in this game.
Definitely, and Blake Burdett is really finding out, like what his team is made of right now. Who's going to step up? Who's going to make a play? Now, of course, you don't want to be a hero or try to be a hero and make yourself look dumb. As the officiating crew picks up the flag and awards Alta the timeout instead of the penalty on that delay of game.
Good catch by our cameraman Austin Bigelow over here. So after the timeout by Blake Burdett, Alta just trying to get something going before the end of this half. With 55 seconds to go, Brown drops the pass. Rusher coming. He steps up. He's going to run. And he gets clobbered as he gets across the 25-yard line, and the clock will run. Under 45 seconds to go. Archuleta made the stop. No difference between the play clock and the game clock. 30 on the game clock, 30 now on the 32 now on the play clock, 31 on the game clock. As that pass is complete and brought down at the 43-yard line, there is Morton. And Morton gets to the 43. That's a first down. Clock will stop while they set the chains with 20 seconds left to go in the game. Or in the first half, rather. Clock running now at 10 seconds. Brown to throw. Looking. Fires, and it's nearly picked off. It was thrown behind the intended receiver, Forbes. Noah Forbes just into the game in the slot. And it was almost picked off. And now if you're Tucker Brown, Josh Dodge, you just heave this up as far as you can and hope for a prayer.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to take a shot like Juan Diego did. Like, you got nothing to lose at this point because there's 6 seconds left. You got one play, and you need something. You need to get something going here.
6 seconds to go. First half. Brown to throw, and he's not going to have a chance.
What a fitting end to this half here as Juan Diego just leans on Alta again and is able to sack Tucker Brown in the backfield.
So there was a timeout call with 1 second remaining. So we're not quite done just yet. As Danny Larson's looking for an explanation. Adric Lillestrand is credited with the sack. And you're right, Josh Dodge. What a fitting end to the first half. I mean, this has just been pure and total domination by this Juan Diego team.
Yep. Juan Diego knew who they were coming into this, knew who they are coming into this game, and they have just absolutely punched Alta in the mouth.
Now we got a drone flying over the field. I hope the officials see that, because you are not allowed to have a drone flying over the field during the run of plays. And now the line judge down here sees it. Danny Larson takes a timeout. There's a drone flying over the field here at Soaring Eagle Stadium. Well, I don't know who brought that in, but that's obviously not allowed. Under the UHSAA sportsmanship book, you're not allowed to bring any objects of that kind into the stadium.
Yeah, because you just never know, like, whose it is or
right.
what it's filming, and if it's gonna get.
Maybe it's the Canadian team again. Maybe it's Bev Priestman, or maybe it's John Herdman filming again. Maybe they're actually trying to learn something for the Canadian Football League up there.
I don't know what the Canadian Football League would benefit from, a high school football game here in Sandy, Utah. But okay, sure, like whatever floats your boat.
Maybe they want a contest. With like American football rules or something. That drone is flying very close to our broadcast position here. It's looking almost directly at us.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Doesn't take a lot to make me nervous as a broadcaster, but unfortunately that, as a football fan, makes me extremely nervous to see a drone flying over the field during the run of play, a live run of play. Anyway, 1 second to go. Now the clock runs out. Brown's just going to heave it. And it is caught and dropped there by McKay. And that is it.
Pass broken up by Toby Harden on the play, and that is the end of the first half, ladies and gentlemen. With the score, the Alta Hawks 7 and the
And we have a flag late after all of that.
Is it going to be unsportsmanlike? Are we going to have an extended half?
Well, if it's an unsportsmanlike conduct foul, it will be after the dead ball, so the half is over. So that would matter. Only what matter is the enforcement on the kickoff.
Oh, that's true.
And so it will be enforced on the second half kickoff. As we expected, it's a dead ball foul against the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle, but that's it. Josh Dodge, I now come to you, and I mean, this game, I don't think anybody could have seen what we saw in the first half coming.
I mean, I think Juan Diego knew exactly what they wanted to do. They could have seen it coming, and they, like I said, they're exactly where they want to be. They knew exactly when to pull the trigger on that pass, and they've just been leaning on Alta. Alta's back on their heels, and yeah, we are primed for an excellent second half, especially if Alta's able to make this a game. It's exciting, that the underdog is able to put up this kind of effort, and hopefully their luck doesn't run out for them.
24-7 is your score at the half. Josh and I will be back for some thoughts as we get set to start the second half. Juan Diego has the 5A semifinalists on upset alert on opening night. Juan Diego leads 24-7. We'll be back after this. Well, welcome back, everyone, to the Soaring Eagle Stadium here in Draper, Utah. Alexander Timolev, Josh Dodge, as we are getting set to start the second half of this quite literally shocking game between Alta and Juan Diego. I mean, Josh, I'm turning to you, and the first thing I say is just, what more can you say about this game?
Well, I'm speechless about the game itself, so the only thing that I'm going to say is welcome back. Football is here.
Well, that's true. Yes, I'll be glad football is back. But first of all, let's take a look at the big picture here. Alta ran only seven plays in the first half. Juan Diego ran 38 in the first half and only one pass that led to a 75-yard touchdown. Josh, how in the world has Juan Diego been able to bottle up this Alta offense, besides the fact use the ground game to their advantage?
Well, you mentioned it at the end of the first half there. There's growing pains for Alta, and we knew that both of these teams, are coming out here with first-year head coaches, and they needed to establish things on their own ends, like with their own game plans. And, Juan Diego's been able to do that. They've been able to eat the clock and just been able to keep the ball away from Alta, been able to steal possessions, steal yards, and steal points, and that's just been the name of the game. Even that 75-yard strike from Hayden Mazzina to Braylon Fail, like that's stealing points right there.
And the other thing that's impressive, Josh, is that 75-yard touchdown, that score, that long pass, the only pass of the half for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle, that was equally as impressive because of the length of the scoring play, but also another impressive thing is that Juan Diego responded to the Alta punch. Like, Juan Diego threw a punch, and they threw most of the punches in that first half. They landed. Alta threw one back, but then along comes Juan Diego. They throw another one right back. That in and of itself shows you a lot about the toughness and the mentality of this team.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by Juan Diego right now. They've definitely come out and they're ready to go. And they're in their huddle right now, and they're all fired up and right in front of their home crowd. And kind of hope and pray, that this game will get interesting. That Alta will be able to overcome those growing pains just with some second half adjustments. And I would definitely like to see a clash of these play styles as Alta looks to air it out in the second half. They're going to have to get back in this game.
Exactly. Alta, as we said, ran only 8 plays in that first half, or 7 plays rather in that first half. And then Juan Diego ran 38 plays in that first half. And on those 4 drives, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. They scored on all 4 first half possessions.
Does Juan Diego even have a punter? Do they have a punter on their roster?
I would think they do, but I haven't seen them warm up on that side yet. So the kickoff is at the 25-yard line for Braden Newport because of the penalty that ended the first half. The unsportsmanlike conduct foul on Juan Diego. That's the other thing that's been the storyline of the half thus far. 8 penalties against Alta, 5 neutral zone infractions, and 3 penalties against Juan Diego. So it is a short kickoff toward that sideline. It's going to take a bounce and go out of bounds, and that is going to mark it at the 40-yard line. So Alta will have good field position starting from near midfield.
And I think that was strategic to kick it out of bounds because with being backed up 15 yards from the unsportsmanlike penalty, you don't want Alta to get a return. That's it's right on brand with Juan Diego's game plan is to make calculated decisions, calculated risks to be able to put Alta right where they want them.
So this will be just the 4th drive of the game for the Alta Hawks, and it will start from midfield. A big one here for the Hawks as they look to get back into this ball game. They've been down 17-0, and they are down right now 24-7. Nolan Loans lines up as the single setback next to Tucker Brown in the gun, who has completed only 4 passes, all to Trevin Fabrizio. Hand off to the left side to Loans, and Loans gets swallowed up.
Just for a gain of 1.
Yes, for a gain of 1. Brought down to the play by Darian Otto.
But hey, that's just to settle the nerves. Like, hey, we're out here on the 50-yard line in the second half. Let's hand the ball off, and let's get our second play in here, and let's go to work.
This will now officially be the 10th play that the Hawks have run tonight. And just their 4th drive of the game. We are barely starting the third quarter. Brown to throw on 2nd and long. Throws. That's complete to Morton. Morton is brought down at the 37-yard line by a couple of blue shirts. But he picks up the first down. Just the 4th one of the game for Alta. But it's a big one. Alta's already been down into the red zone once, and they scored. But they need another one right now to make it at least manageable to keep them in the game.
And like we were talking about during the break, Alta absolutely has to score here. Has to get some points on the board.
Brown to throw on first down. Throws. That's complete to Morton. And Morton is knocked out of bounds after a dink-and-dunk pickup of about maybe 5.
Bit of a dangerous throw there as Tucker Brown was just able to narrowly miss Rossano, who almost undercut that pass. And he had a lot of green grass between him and the end zone.
2nd and 5 from the 32-yard line. Alta's first drive of the second half, in case you're just joining us, 24-7. Juan Diego currently has the defending 5A semifinalists on upset alert. Play action, throw, that is tipped, I believe, and incomplete, intended for McKay. And I believe that time Rossano got his hand on it, and now this brings up 3rd down and 5.
A crucial 3rd down as, when Juan Diego gets the ball eventually, you know that they're just going to run the clock. Alta really needs to hold on to the ball here, really needs to put points up on the board, but like the story of this game has been the clock, and Juan Diego just absolutely dominating it.
Play clock down to 10. McKay goes in motion now as the H-back to the right. Play clock at 5. Play action, throw, that's complete to McKay. Needs to make a man miss. He does, makes 2 men miss, and gets the first down across the 25-yard line. Made 2 men miss, and then it finally took Adric Lillestrand to bring him down, but not before Matt McKay picks up an Alta first down. That is just the second third down conversion of the entire game for the Alta Hawks, but it keeps the drive going. Approaching the red zone. 1st and 10 now from the Juan Diego 24-yard line. Alta looking to creep their way back into this ball game, down by 17 points. Brown to throw, looking deep, throws medium pattern, and it is incomplete, just a little bit out in front of the intended receiver, McKay. Second down coming up. Alta, remember, made the 5A quarterfinals last year with a amazing 4 overtime upset victory over West. And many believe that the Panthers, led by head coach Junior Solovi, are expected to be the favorites again in Region 6. I'll tell you where they're playing tonight in just a second. 2nd and 10 from the 24. Brown to throw, good protection, throws to the end zone, complete, touchdown, Preston Morton.
And there's that strike from Tucker Brown to get Alta back into this game. That's exactly what they needed, and they answered the bell.
Just the second touchdown drive of the game for the Alta Hawks. And it's the second touchdown throw from Tucker Brown on the night. This time it goes to Preston Morton. And it puts Alta right back with a pulse. Down once again now by 11. Good snap, good hold. The extra point is up, and it is good. Out of the Wasatch Front here on a beautiful night here in Draper, Utah. Alexander Tibble alongside Josh Dodge. For Alta Hawks football, the Rio Line Sports Network, Juan Diego has controlled most of this game. They led 17-0 and 24-7 just a moment ago, but the Hawks right back in this ball game off a touchdown pass from Tucker Brown to Preston Morton as the kickoff goes into the end zone and out the back of the end zone for a touchback.
The interesting thing, Alex, is just, again, the contrast between these two teams. If Alta can get just one stop, you know, their offense has been able to operate in 2-minute spurts where they've had 2 scoring drives where they're able to strike quickly. So again, just one stop and they could be right back in this game themselves.
1st and 10 from the 20. This will be the 39th play. This will be the 39th play that Juan Diego has run in this game. Here's a handoff to the backside, and this time nowhere to go for Antonio Archuleta as they tried that little misdirection trap. And that's the start you want there, Josh. Put him behind the sticks on the dive.
Yeah, that's where Alta wants Juan Diego. They want him backed up behind the sticks.
Mazinin on 2nd down and 11 now from the 19. They threw only one pass, and it was a 75-yard touchdown throw from Mazinin to Braylon Fail. Mazinin now hands off, and this time nothing doing. 2 in a row again, as this time Buckley was closed off. Noah Forbes was in there in the backfield. And all of a sudden, this Alta team is alive.
And the away crowd is definitely feeling it. They're pumped up, and they're getting their team back into this game as they're swarming to the football right now. And it's going to be 3rd and long for Juan Diego. And what kind of play call do they have for this situation?
This is the longest 3rd down that Juan Diego has faced tonight.
Over/under on throwing the ball?
Well, you almost have to. Play clock down to 9. DJ Larson having trouble getting the play call in, and now Juan Diego having to call a timeout.
As you see, Hayden Mazinin is a bit frustrated with his coach as he needs the call. The play clock is winding down, and they have to take a timeout as they're reeling a little bit now themselves.
And this is what we talked about, Josh. We knew that coming into this game there was going to be growing pains on both sides for both teams. Now it appears Juan Diego is starting to show just a little bit of those growing pains right now. How will they respond to this adversity?
Yeah, it's definitely something that they have to ask themselves. You know, they don't want to be too high on the score being up 17 twice in the first half, and they're up 10 right now. It's a 3rd and long, and they've got to stay on their game plan, and they got to eat this clock. But they definitely need to convert here, so they got to pull something out of their hat.
Again, this is the longest 3rd down that Juan Diego has had tonight. They are 3 for 6 on 3rd downs here tonight. In all likelihood, a pass and a flag. And now it's going to be 3rd and 18. That's the 4th penalty of the game against Juan Diego.
What did I tell you, Alex? Could be a tale of two halves, just like last night between Timview and Skyridge.
We expected it. I mean, we kind of expected it. It's the first game of the season for both of these teams.
Non-conference opponents in different divisions.
Mazinin to throw. Good protection. Breaks down. Goes down. Sterling, Toy, Lupe, and Wallington got there on the sack.
And Hayden Mazinin seems to be calling for a face mask somewhere, but he's not going to get it.
And this will be the first punt either side has had tonight, as it's going to be 4th and a mile now here at the 6-yard line.
On the punter for Juan Diego, he's not going to have a lot of space to be able to get this punt off. You don't want to get it blocked out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, Braden Newport doesn't have a whole lot of room back there with Preston Morton standing back at his 43. Alta late running an 11th person out there. And the punt is a end-over-end wobbler as Morton falls over trying to field it. It was an end-over-ender. And he brings it in at the 40-yard line. And then after the fact, we have more penalty flags. As Bear Turner trying to get Coaster out of there. Motion starting to run a little bit high here at Soaring Eagle Stadium, and it's a penalty against Juan Diego. And it's a penalty against Juan Diego and against Alta, so it's offsetting personal foul, unsportsmanlike conducts. And after all that, it's still 1st and 10.
And Alta got the stop that they needed. As we're resetting the chains here to begin this series for Alta. Now the Hawks need to respond here again. You know, they're gonna look to strike quickly, but they're definitely gonna do it through the air.
7:36 left, 3rd quarter, 24-14. Juan Diego. Alta has been dominated for most of this game, but can they finally get their way back into this game and right the ship?
The momentum is definitely swinging.
Here's a play action. Brown throws, pass caught. Close to the 1st down. That pass complete. Second down and a yard now from the 30. Here's a handoff to Loans, and Loans is a 1st down to the 26, close to the 25, over the 24. That's another 1st down. And this Alta team really rolling now. Finally, some sustained offense for the Alta Hawks. 24-yard line here, down by 10. They were down by as many as 17 points. They have been no closer than 10. Brown from the gun. Hands it off to Lonis. And Lones gets about maybe 4 yards up to the 20-yard line. And Josh, this Juan Diego team, like we said, this is the first time they faced adversity. Now we get to see what they're made of right here.
I mean, they're still holding on to a 10-point lead. You know, Alta has been able to drive the ball here a little bit, but you can't just you can't rest on your laurels here. You know, Juan Diego needs to keep on the gas on offense, and they need to continue getting downhill against Alta here, and not let them get back in this game, or else you know, the scales could be tipped back in the other direction.
2nd and 6 now from the 20. Wide snap. Brown looking, fade, throws to the end zone. Caught! No signal. Touchdown! Matt McKay, and Alta's back in it.
What a strike from Tucker Brown, as he's able to find his tight end on the wheel route and getting into the end zone. And now it's a 4-point game pending the extra point.
Now here comes McAllister in to attempt the extra point to make it a field goal game. Good snap, good hold. The extra point is up, and it is good. 24-21 is now your score. We have a one-possession game here at the foot of the Wasatch Mountains. 5:35 left in the third quarter, and we have a brand new game. Juan Diego's 17-point lead now trimmed to just a field goal. Alta Hawks football, the Rewind Sports Network, presented by Heidemann & Associates, the full-service law firm fully committed to winning for you, the client. Josh Dodge joining me, Alexander Timolip, here at Soaring Eagle Stadium. Josh, we kind of knew this was going to be a tale of two halves, and it's playing out so far. We knew Alta was not just going to roll over and let this happen.
Yeah, they got way too much talent for that. They just needed to get the jitters out in the first half. They definitely come out here and shown Juan Diego what they're made of, and you know, we blink and it's a 3-point game again.
And Alta's now scored as many points as they've had possession, as they've had first downs all night long. 14th in this third quarter, after having just 4 first downs in the first half. They have 7 in their first 8 plays. And so now Juan Diego comes out. Remember, they opened this game with a 16-play, 80-yard drive. And that ate up 9 minutes and 37 seconds off the clock. Then a surprise onside kick by the Soaring Eagle. Got them the ball back. 7 plays later, they found themselves in the end, or 10 plays later, they found themselves with 3. And then, after an Alta touchdown, or rather, they were able to get a stop on 4th down by Alta, and then they went down and scored and made it a 17-0 game in a blink. Mazzina now on 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle on the dive play. About 2 yards on that play there for Archuleta.
And now Juan Diego's finding themselves in this situation where they've got to answer the bell themselves. You know, Alta's been able to find a way back into this game. Juan Diego's still with the lead.
Yeah, we have a cramp, and Rossano is now the one down. Well, getting back to what you were saying earlier, Josh, Juan Diego needs a drive here to stymie the momentum.
Yeah, you know, like they want to eat the clock. They want to hold on to this lead. We'll see if they're able to hold on to it for the rest of the game or be able to add to it. But they definitely need to get downfield and get a first down like they were in the first half.
So let's catch everybody up here in case you're wondering why the heck is it 24-21. Well, Juan Diego came out, as I said earlier, with a 16-play, 80-yard drive, 9 minutes, 37 seconds. Then a surprise onside kick. Got them the ball back. 10 plays later, they put up 3 points. And then got a 4th down Alta stop. And then went into the end zone made it 17-0, and really it's been back and forth since then, except Alta has now scored on its last 2 possessions coming out of halftime.
Yeah, and Juan Diego with their 1 possession in this half was a 3-and-out. They find themselves in 2nd and long right now. Just need to go back to that game plan of getting a few yards and a cloud of dust here.
5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Mazinin is going to throw, and he's going to get taken down. Pocket collapses again. It's Wollington again. And now Mazinin gets up, and he's limping. Looked like his leg got caught in the turf as he was trying to pivot back to the outside. But again, Josh Dodge, it's another 3rd and long here for Juan Diego.
Yeah, and they went to the pass there on 2nd down, maybe trying to catch Alta off guard there, but definitely not going in the right direction here.
So we'll see what offensive coordinator DJ Larson draws up here on 3rd and 15 from the 15. Need to get to the 30. Juan Diego leading by 3. Mazinin flares out. That pass is dropped. A little too hot to handle that time. And it's 4th down again and another 3-and-out. As Kingston Taban couldn't hold on to it. The momentum in this game, Josh, has completely shifted.
Definitely.
I mean, and you can feel it in this stadium.
Yeah, and you know earlier when Alta was forcing Juan Diego to go 3-and-out, the Alta crowd was able to just really get into it, really cheer up their team, and now Alta is putting Juan Diego right where they want him.
Morton's going to get taken down on the return here at the 40 by 3 blue shirts. But it's going to set up the Hawks once again in plus territory with 4 minutes left here in this 3rd quarter. And we have even more crampage. And maybe that's just a product of the heat here in Draper. Of course, the heat was a factor. 93 degrees was the game time temperature, but the wind was gusting to over 20 miles per hour, but it's died since then.
And even with the lights coming out now, that heat from earlier, it gets hotter down on the turf, and maybe that plays a factor into how well these guys hydrate. And with it being a long game here already, they've still got 16 minutes exactly left in this game, and it's gonna be a good one. And we'll see if Alta is able to score for a 3rd straight drive now.
Alta was down 24-7 at halftime. They were down 17-0. And they have made it a 3-point game, a 1-possession game here at Soaring Eagle Stadium. As we saw down on the sideline, Hayden Mazina, the Juan Diego quarterback, was calling for Gatorades. And they're definitely going to be needed with how this Alta team is rolling right now. And here they come.
This might be a good time for Alta to take a strike.
Four wide receivers in that classic run and shoot set. Now Breck Warren, the sophomore, lines up bottom of your screen. That's a new wrinkle. Motion out the back. And they are going to throw it deep. Brown throws for Morton. Got him! Touchdown, no flags! And the Alta Hawks are on top for the first time tonight.
Completely silencing the home crowd as Tucker Brown just on first down has the Stormy Eagle on the back foot and is able to just hit the post route right down the seam on the hash mark. And now Alta, for the first time in this game, is leading. And is up 3 pending the extra point.
21 pending the outcome of this extra point. As we have another player cramping up for Juan Diego. I mean, it's... I believe that looks like it's Adric Lillestrand who's down now getting some attention. And meanwhile, Danny Larson's down here on the field trying to figure out what the heck just happened.
And that's been Alta's MO when they've been able to score quickly, and score quickly they did. I'd say one play is quick enough.
27-24 Alta, their first lead of the game. As Lillestrand's still getting tended to with that cramp. Down here on our near sideline. Now they finally have him up. And the other thing, Josh Dodge, that I wanted to touch on for our viewers is that head coach Danny Larson said staying healthy for this Juan Diego team is going to be very important, especially in a game like this. Now it's going to be even more important, down by 3, pending the extra point, possibly 4.
Yeah, we've seen multiple cramps from Juan Diego, and Hayden Mazinin has been limping a little bit, and it's could come down to a war of attrition, and Alta just being able to lean back on Juan Diego a little bit.
28-24, Alta leads now. 21 straight points have been scored by Alta in this third quarter. And you have to say, Josh, with the way Alta plays the game, you kind of figured that them getting the ball first in the second half, despite being down 17, was a good omen for them.
Definitely. I mean, they weren't anticipating, the quick strike by Juan Diego themselves, but they knew that they needed to come out in that second half, no matter what the score was, and they needed to go down there and put points on the board. And they've done that 3 straight times and forced two straight 3-and-outs for Juan Diego's offense.
28-24, Alta leads now. What was once a 17-point Juan Diego advantage now has turned completely on its head. McAllister set to kick off. Archuleta back to receive the kickoff. It is a short kickoff that will go towards the goal line. Archuleta takes it at the goal line. And he gets tripped up over the 15, and he'll get brought down at about the 16 or 17-yard line. And meanwhile, we have some extracurricular activity. And more cramps. It's the theme of the night so far. So we'll go ahead and take a break now while they attend to yet another Juan Diego player that's cramping up. We'll be back with Alta up 28-24 on the Rewind Sports Network. 28-24, Alta leads here as we come back live. Alexander Timmo alongside Josh Dodge here at Soaring Eagle Stadium, where it's turned completely on its head in this second half. Here's a wing-back toss to Archuleta, gets a block. Flag goes down as he gets about a yard. And we'll see what the penalty marker is all about. Could either be where the spot it's tossed. I'm assuming it's going to be an illegal formation against Juan Diego.
Alex, no matter how back and forth this game is or what the score is at the end, one thing you just don't want to see is these kids getting hurt or the game turning ugly. Hopefully this officiating crew is able to rein it in a little bit, talk to these boys.
Yeah, emotions have been running a little bit high here. We saw a few unsportsmanlike conduct fouls and personal fouls after the fact. But it seems that the officiating crew's got their point across. First and 15 now following the illegal formation infraction. From the 11-yard line now, Juan Diego has yet to even gain a positive yard in this half, as Alta's just completely dominated this third quarter, 21 points. Here is a sweep to the near side to Archuleta, cuts it back to the inside, and he gets taken down in a wall of white. Pick up about maybe 3 yards on that little wingback dive.
And despite them being behind the chains on first down, that's just all that Juan Diego needs to do, is just get a few yards at a time, and they might find themselves in 4th and short and possibly going for it. But like I had said on the previous drive, they have to answer the bell now that they're down for the first time in this game. And Hayden Mazinin is looking to his wristband as he's looking for some kind of answer to get Juan Diego out of this hole right now.
2nd and 12 from the 14. Here is an option. Mazinin around the right side gets a block, and he tiptoes his way out of bounds at the 21-yard line. He picks up 7. And like you said, Josh, now it's a manageable 3rd down and 5. And now Juan Diego, you're starting to focus more on that wide run, that little quarterback sweep, wingback dive, quarterback power, wingback toss. They're starting to hit those more here as we get down to the end of this third quarter.
Yeah, definitely. In the end, the difference is that Alta's front is able to get more of a push, so they need to look to that outside run, to that outside pass, and they're moving the pockets, and Mazinin is making the decisions to make that sweep and pick up positive yardage.
3rd down and 7, and we have another penalty flag, and I think, Josh Dodge, I know what this is. It's another neutral zone infraction.
There'll be some stolen yards, some much needed yards for Juan Diego.
And guess what? That's going to make it 3rd and 1 now for Juan Diego. And you talk about manna from heaven, they need that. So 3rd and a yard now for Juan Diego, and if ever there was a time for them to pick up 1 yard with Antonio Archuleta or Roman Rossano or Hayden Mazinin, it's now time. 3rd and 1 from the 25. 3rd and 1 from the 25-yard line. Need to get to the 26. Mazinin, give up the middle, and Buckley has got it. Just surged right ahead behind that big offensive line, and that's the first down of the second half. And a much-needed first down for Juan Diego.
Definitely, and with that first down for the Eagles, I can't help but think that it only take one play or one scoring drive for Juan Diego to just completely swing the momentum back in their favor. Why? Because of the crazy first half that we had, where they went up by 17 twice on these Alta Hawks.
And how about that too, Josh Dodge? Getting out of a 1st and 15 with 3 consecutive runs plus a penalty. I mean, you talk about a first down that Juan Diego needed just to give their defense a breather. That was it. From the 27-yard line now, 1st and 10. Buckley comes out because he lost his helmet. Rosano replaces him in that tailback spot. And Mazinin is going to throw. And he throws, and it's incomplete. Just the second pass they've thrown tonight. It was intended for Taban, but he couldn't come up with it.
And Mazinin was a bit on his back foot there. He found Taban open if he was able to get it a little bit higher into his chest, but that had no chances as he put it in the dirt.
And I'll tell you what, Kingston Taban, if he broke that tackle by Matt McKay, he had some pasture in front of him to run. There was nobody in front of him.
Definitely.
Missed opportunity there for Mazinin. 2nd and 10 now from the 27. Again, that's just the second pass Juan Diego's thrown here tonight.
And I think a calculated risk by Coach Larson as he's reading the game and understanding, like, hey, like, you know, now that we're down and now that Alta's getting back in this game, now we don't want to give them the ball back because we don't want to find ourselves in a deeper hole with the way that Alta's been scoring.
3rd and 7 now off that carry by Antonio Archuleta off the right side. Another big 3rd down here for Juan Diego. Play clock down to 9. Down to 5. And they just get it away. Mazinin is going to throw. Throws the fade for Braylon Fail. It is through his hands, incomplete.
He had a chance at it. He had a chance at nabbing that and getting the toe tap, but it just falls through his fingers. It was a great placement by Mazinin as he put it towards the sideline away from those DBs so that his guy had a chance at it.
And a good decision here from head coach Danny Larson to punt the football with 56 seconds left. I mean, the way Alta's scoring right now, you don't want to give them 1st and 10 in your plus end of the field.
No, definitely not. You want to make them work for it. You want to be able to get the ball back and keep this game in striking distance.
John Russell now back to return the punt. He relieved Nolan Loans on that last drive. As a low snap, but it's able to be controlled in a sidewinder punt. That is going to hit, take a full
Juan Diego
bounce.
bounce.
Russell takes it at the 40, and he'll get clobbered at the 38-yard line. And we have yet another flag. 2 flags, in fact.
John Rousseau on the return for the Alta Hawks.
So 1 flag came in from the umpire. The other one comes in from the line judge. And we'll see what this one's all about. And we have a illegal blindside block above the waist in the tackle box against Juan Diego. So that's a 15-yarder. That's going to make it 1st and 10 on the plus side of midfield again for Alta. And I don't know if people could hear it at home, but Danny Larson just was yelling at his team saying, we're killing ourselves right now. I mean, and I hate to say it, Josh, but it certainly seems that way right now here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Coach Larson wants to steal yards for his offense, not give those yards back for against his defense for this Alta Hawks offense. It's just not how he wants his boys to be disciplined, and it's almost a net zero for that punt as Alta finds themselves in plus territory to start this drive.
Play clock's down to 5. I don't know if Brown's going to get the snap off. He won't, so timeout is called by the Alta Hawks. They couldn't get the personnel in. And Josh, harping on the point, all 4 drives in this quarter for Alta have basically started in plus territory. Sans the first drive of the half, which didn't start in plus territory. All four of the 3rd quarter drives have started basically in plus territory.
Yeah, and even the first drive of the quarter started at the 50 because of the ball, being kicked out of bounds. So, like Danny Larson had said, we're killing ourselves because we're just basically giving this game away to Alta, giving them free yards and such.
And you see him right now in the huddle. He is letting them have it, and rightfully so, I might add. A huge drive coming up here for this Alta Hawks team. An especially bigger drive for this Juan Diego defense. Juan Diego was up 17 points. They now find themselves on the precipice of trailing potentially by 7 or more points. Brown on 1st down. Looking, steps up in the pocket, sandwiched as he throws into coverage, and it's picked off! Just at the doctor order for Juan Diego! And a flag goes down at the end of the play for what I believe is going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against Juan Diego.
For spiking the ball.
And meanwhile, Tucker Brown is down and hurt, and that's not good.
He got sandwiched when he let the ball go.
He really did. Wow. So Juan Diego will be starting back from inside their 10. But the greater concern now, Josh Dodge, is for Tucker Brown.
Yeah, he's been excellent in this game. Besides the interception that he just threw, he got his team back in this game and was just able to throw throw some strikes and put him in this position. You'd see to hate this this kid get knocked out of this game. I hope that he's able to hop up here and return.
So we'll be back in 30 seconds after this word from Mountain Land Truck Outfitters as Tucker Brown is down for Alta. Well, gladly Tucker Brown walked off the field under his own power after getting sandwiched on that interception he threw. And Josh, you have to say, that is a very good sign to see Tucker Brown on his feet going off the field under his own power.
Definitely. I was injured myself playing football, playing soccer, and I'd hate to see anybody in any sport get hurt. I always want everybody to be healthy and be able to perform to the best of their abilities. And luckily, he'll have some time to rest as his defensive brothers go out on the field and try to keep Juan Diego pinned back.
But getting back to the interception, that's the first turnover of this game, and how big was that takeaway there for Juan Diego after 3 consecutive scoring drives by Alta?
Yeah, definitely. Juan Diego was able to get a little bit of momentum back as they had gotten a couple first downs there on that last drive, and being able to stop that momentum, the scoring streak by Alta is huge for Juan Diego.
Meanwhile, Corbin Buckley, the wingback, is limping off the field. He now is cramping up. And so I believe that is the 6th or 7th Juan Diego player to cramp up tonight in the second half, and Buckley's really having trouble getting off the field.
It looks like that's Corbin Buckley out there having trouble, and he really needs some assistance to get off the field.
And so we're just waiting on Buckley to get off the field. But Josh, returning to our point earlier about this drive now for Juan Diego, they absolutely have to get this out of the shadow of their own end zone at least put up or get past midfield at this point. Has to be the goal for them.
Yeah, it's kind of a field position battle at this point. You're playing the momentum. It's a 4-point game. It's been a tale of two halves, definitely, as it's swung in one direction, swung in another direction. Both of these teams throwing haymakers and playing their game.
Mazinin fakes, swings it out. That's complete to Rosano. Penalty flag goes down, and he gets brought down after he picks up about maybe 4 yards. And where the flag is tossed, I suspect this is coming back. This would be the 6th penalty of the half on Juan Diego, and it's another illegal formation for too many men in the backfield. And Josh, that's the 3rd time that Juan Diego has been penalized for that very same penalty of too many men in the backfield.
Yeah, and it's just what is going to drive Coach Larson crazy as they're shooting themselves in the foot. They're they're going in the wrong direction, and they're getting away from their game plan. Where like I said earlier, they're wanting to steal yards and kind of giving some away right now.
Like I said, 6th penalty of this 3rd quarter on Juan Diego. They had only 3 in the first half, but now they have 6, a total of 9 penalties here in this game. 29 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Mazinin hands off up the middle, Rosano, and he picks up about maybe 4, maybe 5 yards. And that will in all likelihood take us to the end.
Yeah, Danny Larson's waving him in as he wants to go to the 4th quarter.
And that will bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter, and it's going to be a great 4th quarter here at Soaring Eagle Stadium. Juan Diego had all the momentum. It was on their side, but the Alta Hawks have stolen it, and they now lead by 4 as we head to the final 12 minutes on opening night of Friday night here in Utah. Here we go, folks. 12 minutes remain here at Juan Diego High School. Alexander Timble alongside Josh Dodge at Soaring Eagle Stadium. What a crazy game this has been. Juan Diego was up 17 points. It looked like it was primed for a runaway, but Alta has stormed back to take a 28-24 lead since being down 17-0 Alta has outscored Juan Diego 28-7. And they put up 21 straight in the third quarter. Here's a handoff up the middle and nowhere to go for Rosano. But it'll still make it third and a manageable 6 yards to go here for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle.
And that question is always going to be in the back of your mind because of how the Soaring Eagle were able to move the ball and take those calculated risks in the first half. Is this 4-down territory?
It's fourth down. It's 3rd down and 5 right now from the 16-yard line. Here is a keeper up the middle, and they are not going to get anything. Mazinin gets stoned at the line of scrimmage. And it's 4th down and 5, and now, I mean, but Josh, where you are on the field, you almost have to punt here, don't you? I mean, it's 4th and 5 in your own territory on your 13-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, and that 4-down territory is always conditional upon, like, hey, like, is it 4th and 1, 4th and 2? Like, what's the game situation? What's the clock? What's the score? How's the momentum of the game? And that's what Danny Carlson has been playing this whole game. And so, he's smart, he's calculated, and he's going to punt this ball away, because he's 4th and 5 is a bit much to be able to handle at this point.
As the moon rises past the Mount Timpanogos Temple, punt is away. Russell takes it at the 48. Russell, 40, outside the numbers, and he gets collared out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Good return there on the punt. 14 yards on the return, and that'll set up the Alta Hawks nicely, who, by the way, we should remind you, Alta Hawks football will continue next week, Friday, as we travel to Saratoga Springs. Alta takes on the Westlake Thunder from Saratoga Springs, Utah. Coverage starts just after 7 p.m. on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. Alexander Timolip, Josh Dodge. As Alta going for the kill here, up by 4 with 10 minutes remaining in regulation. Again, Alta was down 24-7 at halftime. They have shut out Juan Diego this second half. McKay goes in motion, handoff to Loans. And Loans fumbles the football. It's on the turf. And who's got it? Juan Diego has it.
Fumble on the field. Recovered by Juan Diego.
The second turnover in as many possessions.
Just as you think that Alta's gonna really take this game back and split it wide open, Juan Diego was able to put up a stonewall and able to just be the thorn in Alta's side as they get the ball back and stymie that attack.
Braylon Fail recovered it. That's his 3rd big play of the game. He has a touchdown. He has that 75-yard touchdown. He has the interception, and now he has the fumble recovery. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Roman Rossano who forced the fumble. Game play clock down to 4. Mazzinan's got to see this. Mazzinan's not looking. And now he's going to have a delay of game on his hands. They just get it away. Buckley takes the handoff, and he gets nailed at the 33-yard line. Boy, Josh Dodge, Hayden Mazzinan is walking a tightrope right now with that play clock.
Yeah, and they're definitely used to having the play clock in the single digits. But, yeah, that definitely what was pretty close there as they just got the play off.
I mean, he got that off by mere nanoseconds probably. Very fortunate that he did not get a delay of game call.
For sure.
2nd down and 7 now at the 33. Again, Josh Dodge, though, as an option veer or triple option running team, you'll take 2 or 3 yards on the dive on 1st down.
Yeah, and that's all they need, and that's all they want right now is they're trying to
Here's a pitch.
Play to their strengths. Able to break a tackle.
Is Archuleta. He's able to get close to the 1st down. We'll see where they mark him. And the line judge says 1st down. And meanwhile, we got an Alta player slow to get up on the play. That's Bennett Kester, who's been in on a lot of tackles tonight. And it has been a pretty physical game. And now looks like Juan Diego's going up-tempo.
Well, that's a change for them.
Here's a handoff up the middle. Archuleta again. And he bulls his way forward for another 4 yards.
Little change of pace here might really switch this momentum back in Juan Diego's favor.
Juan Diego has not crossed midfield in this second half yet. This is the deepest they have advanced in this second half, and now Mazinin will slow it down. Remember, their first drive went 16 plays, 80 yards, and covered 9 minutes and 37 seconds of game time. His offensive coordinator, DJ Larson, yells in the audible from the sideline. 2nd and 6. Here is a handoff to Archuleta, and he will bull his way forward for 2. Looked like Mazinin wanted to pull that because Mazinin had some grass on this left side if he pulled that and kept it around the end.
Important thing, though, is that he didn't fumble the football.
Big 3rd down here.
Now, this might definitely be 4-down territory.
Yeah, where you are in the game, it's 8 minutes to go. 3rd down and 4.
And the way that Juan Diego was able to control the ball in the first quarter, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Juan Diego wants to keep the ball the rest of the game.
Here's a handoff. Big hole and a 1st down. I guess Corbin Buckley's feeling okay. He's got a 1st down across midfield.
Yeah, his foot wasn't necessarily bothering him on that one as he had the quick feet getting through the hole.
Finally brought down by Forbes, but not before he picked up a crucial 1st down for Juan Diego. (28-24). The 3A Juan Diego Soaring Eagle giving the 5A semifinalists everything they could handle and then some here tonight. What a great way to kick off this season. 1st and 10 from the 46. Wingback pitch to Buckley, and he gets pummeled in the backfield by Forbes. This time, he was ready.
By the way, Alex, I should mention that we did see Tucker Brown out on the field for Alta on that last drive before the fumble.
Yes, yes, thank you. I did forget to point that out, that Brown did go back into the ball game. He was there with Loans in the backfield. As Juan Diego, off of forcing their 2nd turnover of the second half, now potentially in the driver's seat. This is the first time they've crossed midfield in this second half. As we approach the halfway point of the final period of regulation, 28-24 Alta. Mazinin from under center. Handoff. And nowhere to run right there on the backside trap option for Corbin Buckley, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
And the misdirection wasn't fooling Alta that time as they were able to penetrate the line and get downhill.
And this now is the big 3rd down right here.
And you think that...
My money's on pass right here.
Yeah, I was about to say, you kind of got to go to the air here. He attempted a couple of passes, and he's not...
Only 2 passes attempted by Hayden Mazinin tonight. 1 for 2, 75 yards and a touchdown. And the man who caught the touchdown, Braylon Fail, is lined up outside of your picture. He's not in the picture at the moment. Play clock down to 6. Mazinin is going to throw. Rolls to his left and fires into coverage. It is caught! It is caught! What a catch! Braylon Fail down to the 20-yard line.
As he makes another big play for this Soaring Eagle team.
It looked like Mazinin threw that into a vacant lot, but everybody just stared while Fail came up with his 2nd big catch. And he's over 100 yards receiving on 2 catches. Crazy.
Hey, I like that average. Alex.
31 yards on that one. So Braylon Fail's stats now for the season, just give him 3A receiver of the year already. 2 catches, 106 yards, and a touchdown. That's incredible.
That's like some Randy Moss territory right there.
That's Air Force Falcons numbers. There's a handoff up the middle. Good step back into the middle by Archuleta, and he gets hit as he gets picked up about maybe 5 yards. And by the way, Josh, we should point out that's only the 3rd pass called by Juan Diego tonight. And what a time to call it.
Yeah, definitely. They've been able to use the ground game to enforce their will. But when they've been up against it, when they've been behind the sticks, they've been able to go to the pass to be able to get the yards that they needed and open up this game a little bit.
4 minutes and 14 seconds left in regulation. It is crunch time here at Soaring Eagle Stadium. 2nd and 6. Handoff. Up the middle. Big hole. Touchdown. Archuleta. Juan Diego back in front.
Touchdown, Antonio Archuleta.
And Juan Diego punches right back as they go back up by 2, pending the extra point.
Hopewell for the extra point. It is placed, it is kicked, and it is good. 31-28. And Juan Diego responds just as they have all night long. We got 3:59 to go. Buckle up, folks. 3 minutes and 59 seconds officially left to go. Alexander Tumalip and Josh Dodge after a 93-yard touchdown drive by the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. And boy, Josh, you called it, how it was only going to take one chance for Juan Diego to get back in front. They got it, and now here we are.
Well, and their defense has been doing them tremendous favors, getting them the ball back as they've been trying to figure out Alta's defense here in this second half. And, well, they definitely figured him out right there as they took the lead back.
Hopewell to kick off, and he will boot this thing down towards the goal line. Russell will take it at the 1. Russell gets outside. Penalty flag comes down. And 2 penalty flags, in fact, come in as it looks like Caleb Walker got caught holding twice over on the back. And now Alta's going to be backed up inside their 20-yard line. And now the ball is in the court of Tucker Brown here. Josh Dodge, I'm sure a lot of these Alta players have not been in this situation before. What do you think is the key here as we enter this final stretch?
The key here is just to hit your marks and keep on your assignment as you try to shake off those turnovers. You know, you had 3 straight scoring drives and then 2 straight turnovers. You know, this game has been about punches, haymakers back and forth. And while Alta needs to respond here, they need to get some passes towards the sideline like they were able to get themselves going in the beginning of the second half. And they need to respond back here with 3:51 to play.
2 turnovers forced by Alta forced by Juan Diego in this second half. Only 1 was converted on by Juan Diego, but it's the one that mattered the most, as we have a timeout call by Danny Larson, as he didn't like the way his defense was lined up. And speaking of Danny Larson and that Juan Diego team, how do you think they're going to approach this last 3 minutes and change with the experience they have on their side?
Oh, I definitely think that Juan Diego needs to stop the Hawks here, because with only 3:51 left and with how Juan Diego moves the ball on offense, I can't see Juan Diego necessarily being able to run a 2-minute offense, a traditional 2-minute offense, to be able to score if the Hawks take the lead back here. Of course, obviously we've seen a quick strike, but that's because Alta didn't see it coming. With Alta playing, if Alta takes the lead and then is able to play a prevent defense, I don't know how Juan Diego would be able to score on their next possession. So they're going to want to stop him here.
So here we go. After the penalty, remember, there was a holding on the kickoff against Caleb Walker, so it'll be 1st and 10 at the 10. Alta has to go 90 yards for a touchdown. They must go about 65 to get in range for a tying field goal to send this game to overtime. Brown Fakes the pass, breaks the run, throws, that's complete. McKay breaks a tackle, up the sideline, still on his feet, and pushed out of bounds at the 24-yard line. McKay thought he was still in bounds, but the line judge said no. Regardless, it's a first down, and again, Lokeland Cruz is down cramping. And that is a heck of a start to the drive there. Get it out to the guy who was the hero of last year's playoff game, Matt McKay.
Yeah, and if he had just been able to keep his toes in bounds there, he was off to the races, and he was about to take the lead right back for these Hawks. But alas, the line judge ruled him out, and they're going to be back on the 24-yard line with a first down.
Like to welcome those of you just joining us on the Rewind Friday Night Red Zone. Probably not the first time you heard us say that tonight. Alexander Timolip joined by Josh Dodge. Gavin Atkinson is running our computer. Austin Bigelow is on the camera. Vince Francis is back in the studio. It has been a humdinger of a game here tonight between Juan Diego and Alta. Everything we thought this game might be. Juan Diego was up 24-7 at halftime. They trailed 28-24, but they came back after forcing a fumble and took the lead on a touchdown run by Antonio Archuleta, his second of the ball game. And that's where we stand right now after a 14-yard pickup by Matt McKay on 1st and 10 from the 10. Now Alta has advanced it to the 24-yard line, 1st and 10. And 3:42 left to go with 3 timeouts left, still in their back pocket. This is what we live for on Rewind. 1st and 10 from the 24. First play after the timeout. 3:42 left to go in regulation time. Field goal ties the game. Touchdown likely wins. Brown to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Now jump pass. Almost picked off. Archuleta had it in his grasp but couldn't grasp it. And meanwhile, now behind the play, another cramp. I mean, Tucker Brown has been flirting with danger most of the night, Josh, and he's been lucky to get away with it. He got away with a serious one there.
Yeah, big no-no there to be stepping up in the pocket like that and to flip one late when your players downfield think that you're going to take off and run with it. And I'm not entirely sure he wasn't beyond the line of scrimmage, but there was no flag thrown.
And I don't know if people could hear in the background, but some parent from the Alta side, I could have sworn I just heard a boo for the player down on the field, and that's not right.
No, we don't want any of that.
That is not right. I can't confirm if I actually heard that, but it sounded like it was coming from the Alta side. As if this is a tactic by Danny Larson to waste time, which clearly it isn't, because these kids for Juan Diego, both sides have been playing their heart out all night long. And let me tell you, I don't think there's a lot of people that Josh Dodge would have expected a 3-point game in game 1 of the season between a 5A powerhouse and a 3A team.
Yeah, and I highly doubt that this is a tactic by Coach Larson, because we've seen these cramps all second half, from the Soaring Eagle. It's consistent with what's been going on, and I don't sense any foul play here, and I definitely don't want anything untoward coming from the Alta sideline.
So 2nd and 10 following the incompletion. 3 minutes and 36 seconds left in regulation. Again, field goal ties the game. Touchdown likely wins the game. Soaring Eagle hoping to pull off a monster upset on night 1 of the season. Orbit motion behind Brown. He play actions and swings it out in the flat to McKay. He breaks a tackle, and he is not going to get away from the second wave. And that will make it a 3rd and 8 here. And Corbin Buckley, once again, cramping up.
No, and
now you can clearly hear the boos coming from the Alta side.
Yeah, I'm definitely hearing him now.
Now you're definitely hearing it, and that's.
Well,
I mean, and Josh, I get it, but this isn't intentional by any means of the imagination. You have to remember, Juan Diego is playing with far less people than Alta is, and furthermore than that, it's 90-plus degrees still on the field.
Yeah, and you see Buckley cramping up with that same injury that he was having trouble with earlier, as he's really laboring, now hopping off the field as he can't put weight on that leg.
That's unfortunate. And it's truly unfortunate that the Alta fans have the audacity. I mean, even just the audacity for the Alta fans to boo that is completely unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, like I understand it, like you too. Like, you know, it's killing the momentum as Tucker Brown just had a safe outlet throw on that last one just to settle down as he steps up in the pocket again.
And he slides down, but where did he start the slide? He started it at the 30. And here you go, Josh Dodge. This is your ball game right here on 4th and 3. And like I said, Josh, I hate to repeat myself, but this is it. This is your ball game.
Yeah, I mean, Tucker Brown definitely got to find a completion here, and he's got to make a play, whether it's with his legs or find one of his receivers on a curl.
Brown to throw, fires, caught, first down, Morton, as he gets suplexed to the ground at the 37-yard line, but it's enough to move the chains to pick up a 6.
And there's that curl route that he found, able to move the chains.
And the Alta hopes stay alive for now. 2:09 left in regulation. Remember, field goal ties the game, touchdown likely wins it.
Ticking under 2 minutes now. As Tucker Brown surveys the defense, and he's looking for...
Brown looking, throws. It is caught, but falling down inbounds is Fabrizio. 5 yards on that play. 2nd and short. Again, clock running. They will not stop it until they set the chains. Alta still has all 3 timeouts left. Juan Diego has only 1. 90 seconds to go.
Empty backfield.
Loans now motions out of the backfield. And they're coming. Brown throws down the seam. Caught!
What a grab!
McKay inside the 10! No flags! Touchdown, Alta!
McKay must have had a Red Bull before the game because he needed his wings to go up and grab that ball.
The hero of last year's quarterfinal at West may have put the finishing punch on the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle.
Well, there's still a minute 13 left in this half, but like I was saying earlier, with that little amount of time and with Juan Diego not throwing very many passes in this game and Alta knowing that they have to throw the ball and have to score a touchdown, are they going to be able to move the ball down and score?
And the extra point is good. 35-31 Alta with 1:13 to go in regulation. This game has officially been off the charts.
Absolutely. What an absolute treat for my first game of the season. And, whatever happens on this last drive, it's been a pleasure to call this game with you, Alex. And
for sure.
To be here with Gavin and Austin on the cam.
And just think of the massive implications of this, because Alta was down 17-0.
Hey, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, and Alta is definitely finishing strong now. They just have to seal the deal on defense.
Juan Diego has 1 timeout left, and they'll have a minute 13 to go down the field and score. A touchdown. What a game. McAllister kicks off. It's a line drive that'll be caught by Archuleta at the goal line. Rosado breaks it free. 40. Out close to midfield. That is a heck of a start for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle.
Just when you think that this game has had it all, there's just a new wrinkle that gets thrown in.
That was actually Archuleta who took the kickoff. So 64 seconds for Juan Diego to go down and score a potential winning touchdown. Braylon Fail has 2 catches for 106 yards and a touchdown. And Mazinin, as you see, going with extra protection in that split back veer. 1st and 10 from the 48.
Oh, they're missing a back in the backfield.
Buckley is not going to get out there.
As the play clock is winding down.
And now Danny Larson's going to have to burn that last timeout. And now Juan Diego has no more timeouts remaining.
And Buckley was probably receiving treatment on the sideline from cramping when he was on defense. Wasn't sure if he was actually going to get out there on the field for that drive.
So Alta has 2 timeouts. Juan Diego, no more timeouts. What a crazy game this has been. Alexander Tibolev, Josh Dodge. It is approaching 9:45 local time here in Utah. We know everyone is now tuned into this on the Red Zone with Dane Stewart and Jeff Hansen. We know you're watching worldwide on the KSL Plus app and on KSLSports.com. We are so glad you decided to join us on this Friday night. What a treat this has been. And it just keeps getting better.
And you really can't even run the ball, which is exactly their strength right now.
Mazinin throws. Caught! Ball's out! Incomplete! Broken up. Bear Turner got a hand on it. Archuleta didn't have his feet set to run with it.
But there's that misdirection just applying to the pass game. He rolls right and he looks back left and he is able to find his running back out of the outfield on out of the backfield on a wheel route.
Archuleta couldn't come up with that one. 58 seconds left to go in regulation. 2nd and 10 now from the 48. Mazinin, play action, sets, now fires for Fail. It is incomplete. Broken up. Good coverage downfield. Braxton Wilkerson was there along with Bear Turner.
Long ball, broken up.
And it's 3rd down.
As you hear the chants from the Alta fans that this is their house.
Well, in 2 more downs, it's going to be if they get a stop. Still a long ways to go. Juan Diego needs to get to the 42-yard line of Alta for a 1st down. Play clock now down to 18. Mazinin drops the pass. Pressure coming. Just heaves it up for grabs. And way overthrown, intended for Fail. And this is the game.
4th down. Here we go. They had full. Mazinin had full protection that time as both of his backs stayed in the backfield to pick up any blitzers that were coming. But there was pressure coming right up the middle, and Mazinin ended up on his backside as he tried to find Fail down the seam, but overthrew him.
And obviously, you got to play everything in front of you here on 3rd down and a mile. 10 yards seems like forever here for this offense.
Definitely.
And Mazinin is going to go straight shotgun. Not even think about lining up in that veer. 4 wide receivers in the set.
And this is the first time they've run this formation all game, and it's with the game on the line.
Mazinin, play action, throw. It is juggled and caught. Archuleta makes the catch.
He bobbled it like 3 times.
41 seconds to go. Ball is set. They will run a play. And
Just
Mazinin
spikes the ball.
spikes it with 37 seconds left in the game.
I think all the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle fans have their hearts in their throats right now after that bobble from Archuleta.
So no timeouts here for Juan Diego, remember. 37 seconds left in the ball game. It'll be 2nd and 10. And you have to think we're going to see that 4-wide set again. That's the first time, actually, that Archuleta has completed a pass, or rather, Mazinen's completed a pass to anybody other than Braylon Fail. And it is 4 wides again. This time, Buckley goes into the backfield. Archuleta splits out wide right. Mazinen drops the pass, rolling to his right.
He's got room, he's got room.
And he does have room. He'll get it toward that sideline, and he gets out of bounds smartly to stop the clock. It looked like the DB was coming up to lick him before that first down marker, and if he got hit going backwards, that would have made the clock keep running despite the fact he would have gotten 9 yards.
Yeah, smart to run out of bounds.
So a good, smart decision by Hayden Mazinen to get out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard. Maybe about a hot dog bun length away here on 3rd and less than a yard from the 25.
We've got Braylon Fail at the closest to us.
3rd down and 1. Mazinen to throw. Picked up. He throws as he's hit to the end zone and incomplete. Intended for Archuleta in the back of the end zone, just a little too far out of his reach. And this now is a 4th down, and it is 4th and 1 with 25 seconds left in the game.
And how about Hayden Mazinen staying in there and taking that hit and popping up for this 4th down?
Juan Diego, no more timeouts. Alta, 2 timeouts. I wonder out loud if Blake Burdett might take a timeout here for his defensive coordinator, Joe Tuha.
They just want to get this 1st down.
And they hand it off, and they will get the 1st down. A big hit, too, by Bear Turner, and now they got to get going.
The entire coaching staff for Juan Diego is signaling clock the ball, spike the ball, spike the ball.
Mazinen waits for it, sets it, now spikes it, and 18 seconds remain in the game.
And this is not a timeout. They got to line up.
They have to line up now, yes.
Going.
Remember, Alta still has 2 timeouts left. I really was wondering, Josh Dodge, if they might take a timeout for Joe Tuha to get his goal line defense in there, because I think everyone in Soaring Eagle Stadium knew they were running the ball.
Yeah, they definitely needed that 1st down to stop the clock and to keep this game going. I mean, even at 4th and a yard and a half, there was no guarantee that they were going to pick up anything or go to the end zone on that one.
Mazinen splitting out wide as Fail. Taban to the left. Mazinen sprints left. Looking, throws for Fail in the end zone. Out of his hands, incomplete. I don't think it would have been a catch anyway. It doesn't look like he would have got his foot down. And it's 3rd down.
Just threw his hands again. It's going to be 3rd down with 13 seconds left. And
yeah, 2 more downs. This is it. You wonder if they'll go to that same play again.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart for Coach Larson to be moving the pocket for his quarterback, because every time that he stood in the pocket, he's gotten hit.
13 seconds left. Play clock down to 5. 3rd down and 10. Mazinen gets it off. Looks, throws, up the seam, and it is incomplete. And a flag comes in late. Boy, that took a long time for the official to throw the flag. I have no idea what the back judge was waiting so long for.
And it's presumably going to be pass interference on the defense.
Or illegal contact downfield, which would result in a 1st down. But the question is, Josh Dodge, was the ball catchable? From my angle up here, it doesn't look like the ball was catchable. We'll see what they call. This is a huge call. And they are going to call pass interference.
Pass interference on the Alta Hawks.
And that means it's 1st and goal, Juan Diego on the 9-yard line.
I think they're putting it right on the 10.
Right on the 10.
9 seconds, 2 plays.
Yeah, you absolutely have to throw it here, you would think.
And despite the ball going through Braylon Fale's hands twice in this game on big plays, I have no doubt that Hayden Mazinin is going to be looking his direction as Fale is lined up in the slot to the left.
Mazinin looking his way, throws for him, broken up. Bear Turner got his right hand just as the ball arrived. 2nd and goal.
And that only took 4 seconds, so you might be able to get a 3rd play off here as it is 2nd down.
2nd and goal at the 10.
Friday Night Lights.
Gotta love it.
2nd and goal, 5 seconds, down by 4. There's nothing like it.
5 seconds left. Mazinin motions a man out. Now gets it away. Now looks. Throws. Broken up and a flag. And there are 2 seconds left.
Pass in the end zone. Incomplete.
And that means it comes down to 1 play.
Holding against Juan Diego.
It'll be 3rd and goal at the 20, so at the very least, Juan Diego has a little bit more room to operate here.
Juan Diego gets in the huddle right now. First time all game, it seems like, to get this one last play in. Are they able to pull off this upset, take the lead here at home on this opening night?
Alta still has 2 timeouts, but it doesn't look like they're going to call it. This is it. A penalty on the defense extends the game. Mazinin to throw. Mazinin sprints out, now throws, hoping for a prayer. It is caught! Out of bounds!
No,
out of
they call
bounds!
him out.
It doesn't go! And the Hawks have survived!
Catch is made, but out of the back of the end zone. That wraps it up. Alta Hawks 35, Juan Diego 31.
Archuleta just not able to keep his feet in.
Unbelievable. In a game that came down to inches, it comes down to the last play. And Antonio Archuleta, by the skinniest of margins, not able to keep his foot in bounds.
And ladies and gentlemen, what a game. Let's give both teams a great hand. Nice job, gentlemen.
The Juan Diego Soaring Eagle, so close, but the Alta Hawks survive. What a game.
Yeah, I think the Soaring Eagle has to walk out of here with their heads held high. Of course, there's no moral victories, but they played their hearts out there, and they gave themselves a chance, and it was just a game of inches. You know, it just came down to that last play, and I definitely think that they will have a great season going forward.
An unbelievable game here at Juan Diego High School. As we have our final thoughts now between us and Josh Dodge here, between me and Josh Dodge, Alexander Timolip. Wow, Josh, what a game this was. What a treat on opening night. This was an absolute battle between 2 really good teams.
Absolutely, and like to to witness the spectacle of these two teams going at it. You know, they're different mindsets, different playing styles, different calibers, you know, different divisions, and yet they're here on this field and giving us this game 35-31 in favor of the Alta Hawks. And as we're just watching them shake hands now, and as people start to file out of the stadium, we get to sit and bask in what we just witnessed.
Time now for the naming of our Heidemann and Associates Player of the Game, committed to winning for you, just like how Heidemann and Associates is committed to winning for you, the client. And boy, when the Alta Hawks needed a hero, it was Matt McKay, who won the game last year and West in 4 overtimes with that heroic 2-point conversion on the road. He gets the game-winning touchdown with 1 minute 13 seconds left. It was a clutch play, but it was the only play that mattered on the night as Blake Burdett gets his first win at the helm of the Alta Hawks.
Absolutely, and for him to go up and make that grab, and where Tucker Brown had put it, you know, he put the team on his back. Like I said earlier, it's not about how you start; it's about how you finish. And these Alta Hawks definitely finished this game in spectacular fashion.
Josh Dodge, you're going to need that week off because that was an absolute treat to be with you here tonight. What an epic start to the season!
Yeah, I mean. Taking a week off for myself, but I definitely can't wait to get back and to do more of this. It's been amazing, and I'll be I'm blessed to be here the rest of the season.
We want to thank all of our crew here tonight. Austin Bigelow on the camera, of course, Gavin Atkinson, who will be on color with me next week at Timpview for their game against Lone Peak. We want to thank also Vince Francis back in the studio for giving everyone a chance to watch the final 3 minutes of this amazing game here on opening night. And we also want to shout out Dusty Litzter. Dusty, we're thinking about you, buddy. Thank you so much for giving us the chance, and we hope you're back soon. Now, for Josh Dodge and for our crew, I'm Alexander Tulovic. This has been another presentation of KSL Sports Rewind, your home for Utah High School sports. The final score, Alta 35, Juan Diego 31. Until we meet again, folks, take care of one another. Aloha from Utah, and good night.